Let's start with evangelization. Okay. There are three things you need to do, just three things, to evangelize the whole world. Just three things. This is it. The first thing you need to do is actually know the faith. You have to know it well. The second thing you need to do is actually live the faith. You have to be authentic. Your actions have to match what you believe. And the third thing you need to do is you need to engage the culture. See, here's the problem that we have in the church today. We'll have somebody that knows the faith really, really well. They're like theologians. They know they've read every single book there is to read, but they don't know how to explain it in a way that makes sense for the rest of the world. They don't connect with the rest of the world. And then you'll have a guy that knows the faith, and he knows how to share the faith, but then he doesn't engage with the culture. He wants to stay in his own bubble, and he doesn't want to go out into the world and engage with the culture. You need all three. If you're missing in just one of those things, you're not going to make it. You're not going to do it. You're going to fail. But nobody in this room looks like a failure to me. Everyone in this room looks like somebody, because you're here, that you want to know the faith, you want to live the faith, and you want to go out into the world, and you want to change the culture and win it back for Jesus Christ. And that's how you do it. And my friends, it's easier today than it's ever been to evangelize. It's so easy, it's so simple. Why? Because today, in this day and age, all young people have no problem whatsoever with listening to a 3-4 hour long podcast. That's what young people like. What young people like today, and it makes total sense when you look at how disconnected we are from like each other because of social media. Young people today love to hear other people have real conversations, like in person. That's why everyone listens to Joe Rogan, because he has really good conversations with other people in person, right? People love to hear people have really good, interesting conversations. So, you guys, all you have to do is go out into the world and have really good, interesting conversations. And when you have really good, interesting conversations, whoever you're talking with, your interlocutors will know, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He really knows what he's talking about. Every single question that I've asked him, every single time that I've tried to stump him, every single time that I've tried to prove him wrong, he always has something. That's what everyone always says, like in the comments of my videos. They're like, oh, this guy, like all the people that are like anti-Catholic, they're like, oh, he always has some excuse, he always has something to say. No, the Catholic Church has all the answers. All the answers. So go out and find those answers, and then go and share them with the world. And I promise you, when you can answer their questions, and the world has a lot of questions. Obvious, you know how confused the world is, right? They have lots of questions. If you can actually answer their questions, and you can make it make sense for them, and then they see that what you are saying to them and what you believe actually matches with your behavior and the way that you act and the joy that you have in your life, they're going to be so jealous. And then jealousy turns to curiosity. Curiosity turns to inquiry. Inquiry turns into research. Research turns into devout study. And devout study turns into falling in love. And that's your goal. Your goal is to go out into the world and make the world fall in love. Not with you. Actually, yes, with you. Go out and make them fall in love with you, because they're going to ask themselves, why am I falling in love with this person? It's because of who you represent. Because of the Spirit of God, the Spirit of Christ, that is within you. But you have to do all three of those things. All three of those things. You can't, if you're missing just one, it's not going to work, guys. So, all three. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to engage with the culture. The smartest theologians, the best apologists, who are great catechists, they are afraid. A lot of them, unfortunately, are afraid to engage with the world. Don't be afraid. Just go do it, because guess what? You've already won, because you have the truth. You have the truth. And what the world has, they have nothing but falsehood. What they have is false, and you can easily prove it false. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with being confrontational about it. Because, see, we have a crisis in society right now. We have a crisis of people are very, like, passive. People are very, I'm sure you guys know that there's like a crisis of like masculinity, right? Well, we can wake up the men around the world by just challenging them. The reason that men don't act like men is because they've just never been challenged. When they become challenged, when you challenge them, real men will rise to the occasion and they'll meet the challenge. But you guys are the ones that have to go and challenge them. So I always tell, when you go out into the world, dare them to prove you wrong. Dare them. Look them in the face and say, I dare you to prove me wrong. Do it. I dare you. And look at them just how I'm looking at you right now. Look at them. Like, I dare you. Do something. When you talk to them, you talk to a man like a man. That's what we all want, is to be spoken to like men, right? Christianity isn't for weaklings. Christianity is for those people that have no problem whatsoever being thrown to the lions. Christianity is for those people that have no problem whatsoever being burned at the stake. They got no problem for it. They have no problem being persecuted. They love that. They want to be persecuted. They want to die for the God that died for them. And that's what the world needs to see. See, everyone wants to be like Jesus, right? But then, when it comes time to do that one thing that Jesus Christ did for his church, to sacrifice himself, that's when people don't want to be like Jesus anymore. And that's why we have the problems that we have in the world today, is because we don't go all the way with it. We don't sacrifice ourselves anymore. We don't sacrifice ourselves for the sake of God and his kingdom. And the world needs to see you all make sacrifices. Make sacrifices, because when you get too comfortable, you get sloppy, man. When you get too comfortable, you get soft, man. When you get too comfortable, you just stop caring. Be willing to sacrifice yourself. Be willing to let them throw you to the lions. Who cares? Your life isn't about you. Your life really isn't about you. Remember that our Lord Jesus Christ said, the greatest love that there is when a man lays his life down for those that he loves. How many of you are willing and prepared to lay your lives down? Because when you go out into the world hates you. The world has always hated you, but you know what? What did our Lord Jesus Christ say? He said, hey, guess what? They hated me first. They hated Jesus first. If they hated Jesus, you think they're going to love you? Why do we care about being loved by the world? Why do we want to be loved by them? What they need is for us to go out into the world and to love them by sharing the truth with them, because as they say, the truth will set you free. Because that's what they're really looking for. They're looking for truth. That's why I say you go to the world's face and you dare the world, you challenge the world to prove you wrong. And they can't do it. And when they realize they can't do it, that's when the world is going to once again conform to what built Western civilization in the first place. And that is the Christian religion. We live in a post-Christian world. What that means is that we're no longer allowing the Christian tradition to guide us, to mold us, to shape us. We no longer take our cues from the Christian tradition. That's what it means to be in a post-Christian world. Let's flip that. Let's flip that and let's get the world curious about us again. Because again, we have all the answers. So what are the three things that everyone needs to do? Know the faith, and then? Live the faith. Live the faith, and then? Engage the culture. You have to engage the culture.